welcome to Oh the Horror. I'm Fedora, and it's rather ironic, isn't it, that one of mine and everyone else's biggest hates on this piece of crap is how it panders itself to kids and lowers itself to a PG-13 rating. Yet, when I was a kid, I fucking loved RoboCop.
RoboCop was one of the best science fiction movies of the 80s. Not just because of its iconic hero, brilliant stop-motion animation, awesome action, and insane violence that would appeal to any action junkie, but because it was also a clever social piece showing the effects of big business with too much power, privatization, and the effects on the little guy in this picture. As far as the story goes, it stars Peter Weller as Officer Alex Murphy, a transfer cop to the crime-ridden old Detroit who is viciously gunned down by a ruthless gang on his first day on the beat. In steps the super company Omni Consumer Products, OCP, owners of Detroit and its struggling police department, who in an attempt to win favour with the citizens, reconstruct Murphy's corpse, fitting him out with high-tech armour and weaponry, transforming him into RoboCop, a crime-busting one-man army who grabs the criminal community by the balls and twists. One thing OCP didn't count on, though, was Murphy's humanity seeping through the cracks. And thus the question is asked, is Murphy just a machine, or is he still a man? 1990 saw the release of RoboCop 2. And a lot of people are split down the middle on this one. While it's in no way a bad movie, I mean, the action and humor are still intact, and a lot of the stop motion is great, if not better than the original. But it just retreads old ground from the first without adding anything new to it, and it seems to disregard a lot of the steps toward humanity that Murphy took by the original's end.
But whatever your opinions on RoboCop 2 may be, I think we are all united as one in our global despisement of what followed. Because obviously you see by this point, RoboCop had become fairly popular with the kids, with comics and video games and action figures and a cartoon show, that studios wanted to create a RoboCop movie for the kiddies. What resulted was this PGOS. RoboCop 3.
So this movie starts in someone's Sega CDI game, which is one of the many OCP advertisements for their big ambitious project, Delta City.
Ah, they're still going for that, are they?
Yeah, Delta City was their plan from the second movie too. Basically, they wanted to demolish the scummy, crime-ridden Detroit, and in its place, build a shiny new super city. Problem with that is, which was never addressed, who the hell is going to live in it? Certainly not the residents of Detroit. They could barely afford to live in the squalor they currently lived in. So we're basically going to have this huge glowing metropolis, and it's going to end up looking like this.
Delta City. For our children.
Speaking of struggling citizens, it's here we meet our obligated child actor / super genius for this movie, because that's always a good idea. This is Nico, who is watching the news with her family about a new team of OCP-sanctioned officer hitting the streets called the Rehabs, who have the nasty habit of forcefully evicting Detroit residents from their homes in order to flatten the ground for construction of Delta City.
For God's sake, help us!
That's what we're here for, man. Just go on the bus.
Biff Tannen's made his point. But I think we need to hear from the leader of this little gang.
Shoot her if you have to, but get her out of here.
Yes, sir.
This totally not Nazi-inspired barrel of laughs is Paul McDaggett. And if this guy was any more black and white evil, I think he would be sprouting a curly stash and tying women to train tracks.
This is a problem because the first two movies dealt with the enemy being just a big business. There was a lot of industrial espionage and corporate grey areas and cloak and dagger stuff. But here, with a movie pandering to kids, we can't have anything that complicated going on. So we gotta paint this clearly obvious villain into the picture, so there's no thinking required.
And where there's an empire, we gotta have ourselves a rebellion. So when they show up and blow up the wrecking ball crane, Nico is separated from her parents in the ruins of her former home.
You! Stay where you are!
Well, maybe don't try firing a gun in the air, dickhead. Nico is rescued by the rebels, and is brought along with them to a police armory, where they plan on helping themselves to some more firepower to combat the rehabs. So after blasting through the gate, they bump into, holy crap, it's an Ed 209!
Freeze! You are trespassing on police property. Please surrender your weapons.
What the hell? What is she crazy?
You have 20 seconds to comply.
Hey, you come here!
You now have 10 seconds to comply.
You won't believe this. He'll be loyal as a puppy.
4 seconds. 3 seconds. You have 1 second to comply. I am now authorized to be loyal as a puppy.
The sheer level of WTF just defies description.
Firstly, the rebels just standing there with their guns out, just hoping that this random little girl from the slums is capable of hacking this sophisticated robot in under 10 seconds, is just stupid. But what's even stupider is that she does! Bitch, the scientists who created Ed 209 in the original couldn't shut him down that fast. Yet this 9-year-old not only shuts him down, she reprograms him to then help them steal the weapons and escape the police.
Oh wait, I forgot, this is a 90s PG movie. It goes by the Home Alone logic, where all kids are geniuses and all adults are simpletons.
With the rebels on the run, more cops are scrambled to intercept them, including RoboCop's partner and friend since the original, Officer Ann Lewis. A rather tame car chase ensues before the rebels use some kind of MacGuffin to change the traffic lights and cause the police to crash. And what a bad place to crash in indeed.
Lewis?
Splatterpunks.
Splatterpunks, huh? Well, I'm assuming the splatter in their name comes from their fine skills with the paintbrush due to their gang's emblem.
I kid, but to be honest, the first few moments of the Splatterpunk's introduction is pretty creepy. Then they appear and they just look like a bunch of rejects from the Insane Clown Posse.
Speaking of appearing, we're 20 minutes into this thing now. Where the hell's RoboCop?
Police officer, no loitering.
You called for backup?
My God, this movie is so toned down. I'm surprised they didn't replace his gun with a radio. Hey, my second E.T. related reference in a movie featuring Dan O'Hurley. The first one was in my Halloween 3 review where he played Cochrane. And as we know, he played the old man, the head of OCP in the first 2 RoboCop movies.
Gentlemen, you are now looking at a company in transition.
The fuck? Rip Torn?
Yeah, so not only did Peter Weller not reprise his role as RoboCop this time around, we have Rip Torn playing the old man's replacement as head of OCP.
Knock it off, Johnson.
Additionally, OCP is now owned by a Japanese company called the Katamitsu Corporation after the "whoops, did I put a serial killer drug lord's brain inside a giant robot of death?" events of RoboCop 2. And since the rebels have caused so much trouble for the rehab team, not only does Rip Torn order for RoboCop to be assigned to them, but the Japanese company is sending over their own cyborg. This cyborg ninja.
Cyborg ninja? Because they're Japanese?
And his name is Otomo. Get it? Like automaton?
Knock it off, Johnson.
Oh look, it's Bradley Whitford, forever typecast as the corporate weasel, playing the liaison between OCP and the police. Here not only to recruit RoboCop to the rehabs, but to complain about him acting too human. Because we've never seen that before.
Friend, this thing's a machine.
Look, if OCP just wanted a robot, why the hell did they put Murphy in there in the first place?
Murphy?
How can you interface human components with a machine and then complain when the human part makes a decision?
Thank you, character we've never seen in this series before, yet somehow has an emotional connection with RoboCop that we're not privy to. You're pointing out all the plot holes for me.
Brad orders Dr. Lazarus here to install this magical chip that will erase RoboCop's emotions and memories, basically turning him into exactly what they didn't want. But Murphy's memories start displaying on the monitors.
I think I'd like to be alone with him if it's all right.
Who are you, and why are we supposed to believe you care so much?
So of course Lazarus doesn't install the chip. And RoboCop remembers that on his way back to the station the other day, he saw some rebels hiding out in a church. So he and Lewis decide to head over there and investigate.
Hey, Lewis, you want your body armor?
What? No, I'm off duty.
Hell was that?
They arrive at the church and find it full of citizens who have been rendered homeless due to the rehab team's forced evictions. Oh, speak of the literal devil, McDaggett himself appears at the church too, along with an entire army of rehabs who plan on rounding up all the homeless into concentration camps.
Back off, or there will be trouble.
Now, if you want to get in there, you're gonna have to shoot through us.
I don't have a huge problem with that.
Oh, now I get it. It was foreshadowing.
You'd think I'd be pretty pissed with them just pointlessly killing off Lewis solely to show us that the rehabs are evil. But on the other hand, this was actually a request by actress Nancy Allen, who, after seeing which way the franchise was headed, desperately wanted out.
What does that tell you about your script idea, guys? That 3 actors who are with the franchise from its very roots just totally bail on you.
So after getting his ass handed to him by the rehabs, RoboCop teams up with the rebels and heads underground. But unfortunately, McDaggett is tracking him. Oh no, we better leave this up to the kid to solve the problem.
What did I tell you? He's gonna lead it right to us.
Shut up, Coons! Nico, what's he talking about?
Ho ho ho, thanks Nico. Can you help me tie my shoe next? I'm just a gosh darn adult. The news of RoboCop's desertion results in some serious stock drops and belly flops for the already struggling OCP. But it's okay, because Otomo has arrived in America and has begun hunting for the rebels himself, who have just recently brought in Dr. What's-Her-Face to fully repair RoboCop. Okay, gotta get the tender bonding moment in there, even though Robo's face just says, "Get this thing off of me!" Obviously trying to score some manly points back after that. RoboCop hits the rehab station with a fiery vengeance. And after that, he goes after McDaggett in some shady motel, who just manages to escape with some kind of secret weapon provided by Katamitsu. So Robo gives chase in a pimpmobile.
Yo, bitches, get your ass on the street and make me some money.
Dastardly McDaggett manages to escape, then reappear just in time to lead the siege on the rebel base and kidnap Dr. Lazarus. Of course Nico manages to escape. I mean, let's not be idiots here. She's got to be the one to rescue everybody after all. Nah, you want to see an idiot? Let's have a look at McDaggett's new recruits for the rehab team.
We have agreed. All teams have agreed. Hey, take it easy.
The police are against me evicting the citizens, and RoboCop wants my head. I know! I'll give military-grade weaponry to a bunch of murderous crackheads!
Yeah! He actually recruits the splatterpunks to help him make the final push to get all the citizens out of their houses. Somebody get this guy a round of applause.
Knock it off, Johnson.
Where are all our bullets going? My God, how can this get any stupider?
No, don't say that! Oh, fuck my life.
After that, RoboCop flies to the top of the OCP tower to confront McDaggett. But he's intercepted by Otomo, and then a second one. Okay, well, attacked by two fast-moving ninja cyborgs that are obviously way too much for RoboCop to handle. Better call in this movie's real hero.
Okay, it's official. Hawkins, Darwin, Einstein, Nico.
And because of that magic, McDaggett's secret weapon is activated, which is just a bomb in a briefcase. So Robo rolls onto his jetpack, grabs the girls, and blasts off, leaving McDaggett to be blown to hell. So, with the war for the streets over, leaving the city leaderless, policeless, penniless, and in utter ruins, this movie comes to an end with this little tidbit.
What do they call you? Murphy, is it?
My friends call me Murphy. You call me RoboCop.
No, you're not. You're RoboCop 3. And that was it.
This truly was the low point. Coming from the first two movies, this finale to the franchise is cursed with tame at best action, cliché and very unlikable characters, completely unthought out plot, zero of the over-the-top violence and tongue-in-cheek humour and political satire of its predecessors, less than a handful of the much-beloved original cast. I mean, the only person who sticks around for all three movies is fucking Johnson. And a finale that leaves everyone in a potentially worse situation than when they started. As expected, this movie received global panning and put the nail in the coffin for the RoboCop franchise.
That is until the Nolan-inspired remake came out earlier this year, which was so Nolan, everything had to be black in that movie. RoboCop's armor, Lewis, and a man. And that's all we have time for tonight. So, I'm Fedora, this is Oh the Horror, save your screams, and we'll see you next time.
So I'm gonna fly higher than I ever could. Feel the